I'm Dave. I'm a director of photography here in Denver. I've been shooting for about 35 years. I'm basically in charge of getting the shot. My job is to work with the director of the film or the commercial to make sure I'm gonna get their vision, you know what I'm saying? All right, here we go, stand by and go for it. You guys did perfect. I'm putting a little mist filter on here just because I'm shooting people now, and it makes their fleshy tones just really nice. We're gonna shoot the interior in here, so I think we'll be able to do it with that softbox. Cruise over there. Yep. Oh, this opens wide too, this is good. I was a still photographer, and first off, I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up, when I graduated high school. So I worked as a wedding DJ for like 3 years. Me and my brother had a little DJ company. I would see the photographer running around. I'm like, those are the people making the real money. I'm like, you keep DJing, I'll go to school, I'll learn how to be a photographer, and we can just own the wedding business in Denver. That was all cool, but then when I went to art school, I decided I don't want to be a wedding photographer. I was thinking National Geographic was gonna call me and I would be out in the Congo shooting gorillas or something. So 3 months into my schooling, I walked by the dean's office, and there was a little sticky tab and it said, internship, Channel 9 KUSA, Denver. So, long story short, this is a long story. I ended up getting the internship. There were 250 applicants for this internship. I got the internship because I had a portfolio with all my still photography stuff. You know, maybe one of these is totally fine. Did you get the bats too? All right.
Emails?
Yeah, the V-mounts. I'd say about 80% are commercials. But I've done everything from little tiny local spots to big national commercials. Like I've done like Cadillac and GMC national spots and stuff like that. I'm building this little mini jib here, and this thing just makes movement, and you'll see when we start shooting. What I love, honestly, are the new gimbals, because I don't have to build them like this, and I can shoot and go quickly with them and stuff. So it's kind of a double-edged sword because it's made my life a lot easier being able to shoot with a gimbal and an autofocus camera. But then again, it's also opened up the door for everybody to go out there and be a DP, you know? So when I started, the cameras were whatever. My first camera was $85,000. And so not everybody could be a DP. You had to kind of prove yourself first, but now anyone with like a couple $1,000 and an Uber ride to Best Buy to buy some gear, you're a whole production company now. So, I mean, you're not gonna have this, but you can have really good stuff. First their eye, you gotta be able to make good shots, and what I roll into a lot is I've never seen the inside of this place, so I've got to make a good shot inside this place, whether it looks good or not. Sometimes we get lucky and it's beautiful, and sometimes it looks terrible, and we still have to make it look good. So if you ask me like what makes a good DP, and I say this kind of a lot, it's being able to walk into a boardroom with a dry erase board and brown walls and make a pretty picture out of it. And that's sometimes not the easiest thing to do. Some of the things I'm most proud of are basically some of the most mundane things, but I made something that looked just terrible. I made it look pretty good. And that's, like I said, some of the things that I'm really most proud of, so. How expensive everything was going to be, and how many sleepless nights when it's slow and you have little children. That wasn't a lot of fun. But honestly, I mean, this is it's a really great career, to tell you the truth. As long as you have clients coming, really good career. Oh man, the craziest thing I've ever had to do to get a shot is pre-drone days. And if somebody wanted an aerial, I'd be hanging out the side of a helicopter. And I've done that several times. And I've done it safely with like, which used to be called the Tyler mount, where it'd be mounted with some big, huge gimbals, and I'd have a huge camera, like a gun turret, and I'd be hanging out the side of a helicopter with straps on. And then I've also done it where I've been handheld with like a seat belt over one shoulder, standing on the helicopter, rig, hanging the camera out the side of it. That was crazy. I don't recommend that at all. I would say shoot everything you can, like everything. And if you don't love it, get away and run quickly. If you're looking for this to be an easy way to make money, it's not, but it's like a passion career. So if you love shooting and creating, go for it. You're gonna get it. This is kind of beautiful. I'm so happy I can use the Christmas tree. Let's light up this side of the car. We can just put a bat on this right now if you want. Yeah, so I didn't get to pick the time of day that we're shooting, but luckily everything's coming in from this light's coming in from the west because this is the afternoon. Today we'll probably do maybe 60 to 80 different shots and make sure we get them right, I'm gonna shoot everything slow-mo. Let's see, here we go. Do I need something over here, do you think? Is that kind of, yeah, that'll work. All right, I'm gonna roll. Let's see if I can just get that with the logo. No.
For any prerequisites?
They sent me some spots that they did for McDonald Audi and McDonald VW, and they looked really nice. So I'm just kind of shooting in that same vein, but kind of rubbing my own secret sauce on it. Working as a DP, try to find an assistant who's a talented photographer as well, because they'll see things like this dude over here. See, he's looking at that monitor. He'll see things that I didn't see. Oh, dude, that looks great. All right. All-round cameras and lenses, you can either pick Canon or Sony. There is Blackmagic, which I wouldn't recommend. If you got a lot of money, you can buy an Arri or a Red. But somebody just getting into it, I would get a little Canon R5 or a Sony A7, whatever the new model is, with a 24-70 f2.8 lens, which honestly I'm shooting with one right now because it's so versatile, and the new lenses are super sharp. Really, for around $3,000 you can get a super professional looking camera. This camera is a little different. This is a Canon C400, and it's, I don't know, with everything on it, it's about maybe 12 to 14 grand, something like that. I've been buying a new camera every year for the last 5 years, it seems like. So, because they change so quickly, because cameras are like computers. But the technology's kind of slowed down a little bit. Like about 10 years ago, we're all wanting to buy new cameras so we could shoot 4K. But now most of the little cameras, like the new Canon, this camera shoots 6K. My new Canon camera shoots 8K. No one's even asked for that yet, but so at least that part of the technology race is over, where 4K seems to be plenty good for most things. What I'm doing now, I'm just getting the flavor of the dealership, just shooting kind of wide shots of things. Corporate's nice because it's easy and it's good money. Honestly, my favorite things to shoot was honestly a lot of the stuff I did for Comcast for the West Division, and that was doing the kind of their philanthropy stuff. I liked going out and shooting stuff for good organizations and actually getting paid for it, So Comcast was the one that was footing the bill for these organizations, but I felt like I was doing something good, in the world by shooting like something for a Boys and Girls Club. I've been lucky, and so I worked for the cable company. I never finished my story. So I got my internship at Channel 9. Then I met everybody in Denver, production-wise, and Denver was a pretty robust production community. One really good thing happened to me, and I didn't know it at the time because I had a bunch of little kids. laid me off, and my whole team over there, I got laid off, and I was like, oh, this is terrible. It ended up being the greatest thing ever because all of my clients said they came to me. They weren't coming for the studio because we had kind of a crappy studio, but they were coming for me. So luckily, throughout my career, I just haven't had to chase the clients because it's kind of just been word of mouth, you know. So I have a huge grip truck, and I've kind of collected things over the years because sometimes it's hard to, it was really hard about 10 years ago trying to find the right crew members. So I wanted to make sure that I could handle any part of the production out of my truck. Everything from lighting to grip gear to audio, which is a big one, to multicams. I own lots of different kinds of cameras to be able to do multicam shoots. I just didn't want to have to rely on anybody else. I didn't want to have to rent stuff all the time. I don't rent my gear out to anybody. I let sometimes Remy borrows it, but I trust him. But yeah, you know, this is my livelihood, you know, and I don't need somebody renting it, breaking it, and, you know, and dropping it back off to me, you know, and then I'm out on a shoot with it and the stuff's not working correctly. So I just don't like that. But I used to have to rent. And so my rule of thumb always was, if I have to rent it 10 times, I just have to buy it, you know? And, but now things are a lot cheaper than they used to be. Like I know someone's gonna be watching this and be like, a $5,000 camera is cheap. It is cheap compared to what we used to have to do. If you want to get into video production, I would highly recommend taking still photography classes because video moves pretty quickly, but still photography, you take a picture and you stare at that one frame forever. So if you can really get kind of decent with still photography, and you would learn a lot about framing, learn a lot about exposure, learn a lot about cameras. Because a lot of the cameras cross over now, you know. All the still cameras shoot video, and most of the video cameras shoot still photos. So I think you really have to be well-rounded, especially nowadays. Like anyone starting out in this business, you have to be able to do a little of everything. You got to be able to shoot, edit, write, smile. You got to be able to hang around clients decently. My main thing is be on time. Be clean. I don't care what you look like, but you can't be like stinking around clients and stuff like that, right? What's your business card? On time. Clean, dependable, and on time. That's it, right there.
Showered.
Oh, showered.
Dependable.
Showered, dependable, and on. The bar's low for a grip, but honestly, just getting there on time or early is like half the battle. Anybody who doesn't know everything about this job, ask a question, I will tell you. You know, I will tell you before you go in my van and start breaking something, right? So it's kind of important to ask a lot of questions, you know what I'm saying? So just get on set, you know, because you're not gonna make a lot of money starting out to begin with. So get on set, meet people. That's kind of the thing, because this job that we're in, it's a lot of who you know, or, you know, if you can get on a set, shooting a student film or shooting a short for a 48-hour film festival or something like that, you're gonna meet people. And if you work hard, those people are gonna wanna hire you. So that's kind of my biggest advice I'd give somebody starting out is just get out there and do it. You gotta love the craft to begin with. You gotta love this so much that you're willing to do it for no money at first, right? And then even though I don't agree with that, I pay all my guys, even the ones that don't have a lot of experience, but most people don't, you know, because there's not a lot of money going around making short films, you know, but you can really hone your craft that way, and it gets good, you know, it'll get better.